debate, joyful learning, and the transformative power of language. And his journey in finding self and helping others do the same is both heart-touching and soul-stirring. In Miseducated, the upward climb is not about making it to the top. It is about pulling others up when you get there. And Fleming's fight to moral greatness and societal significance is boundless. The following chapters lay bare the stages of failure, of triumph, and the discovery of a special calling that will lift us all in such a grim moment in the history of this country.
Chapter 1. Golden Ticket. I could not seem to die. I opened my eyes in a hospital bed, the faint beeping of a monitor signaling I had been given a second chance I did not want. I was still here, forced to see, hear, feel, and face the reality I had desperately tried to flee. I did not want to feel anymore, but I felt. I felt cold. I felt pain. I felt alone. I scanned the room searching for the culprit, the one who was no friend of mine for dragging me back to the life I was desperate to leave. How could they? I did not want to be saved. I wanted to be free. And if they could feel, see, or sense my anguish, they would not have thwarted my exit, barring the door to my escape. They would have opened it. They would have let me through. Mr. Fleming? My rush of angry, frustrated thoughts was stilled by a gentle, compassionate voice. Mr. Fleming, how are you feeling? I averted my eyes from the infusion pump to a petite woman dressed in white. Her blonde hair was backlit and luminescent. She looked harmless enough, but I felt vulnerable, exposed, weak. Surely she would take one look at me and see everything, all the insecurities that fueled my cowardly desire to run. Surely she would see I had no reason to be alive. I felt ashamed to be here, in this room, receiving this attention. It took a while for me to gather the courage to look at her soft gray eyes that made me somehow feel safe. Her smile was perfectly appropriate. It was subtle enough to respect my circumstance, yet assertive enough to assure me that everything would be okay. Here, drink this. She gently braced my neck as she held a bowl of gritty black liquid to my lips. This is activated charcoal. It will help to dissolve the drugs you took. I grimaced as I gulped the elixir. It tasted like cement mixed with the castor oil my aunt made me drink as a child. As I gagged through the last swallow, the nurse dabbed the corners of my mouth and carefully nestled my head back at rest. She promised to return to check on me and disappeared through the veil that separated me from other patients. I did not want her to leave. She was all I had. My feeble hand lifted and beckoned her to stay, but I did not have the strength to speak. Wide-eyed, I lay back and gazed at the ceiling as tears welled in the gutters of my eyes and streamed slowly down the contours of my face, dissolving in the stubble on my chin. I was alone, with my thoughts, my feelings, and the life I did not want. Lying there, I thought about the day before. It was my last shift on the assembly line of vitamin manufacturing. I was an 18-year-old college dropout dating a girl whose mother insisted that I try to earn a living. My girlfriend had not yet developed a radar for detecting lowlives, so her mother had intervened with a passive-aggressive introduction to the local temp agency. In this way, she'd avoided challenging her daughter's taste in men while also demonstrating her distaste for jobless suitors. I had no education, no resources, and no skills, so menial labor was my only hope for making a decent living. The agency had assigned me to a vitamin plant in Anderson, South Carolina, about 20 miles from Greenville, where I'd finished high school almost 2 years prior. Mom's deployment to Iraq had separated and scattered my siblings and me. Sierra was 22 and had gone to live with her boyfriend. Barry was a